Kuwait's Tice Center held a presentation about the Islamic stance on terrorism, suicide bombings and using violence to promote or implement social or political reform. The lecture was presented by head of the center, Dr. Terrisam, who introduced a popular publication that is in circulation in over 200 countries, titled Fatwa on Terrorism and Suicide Bombings. Here is more on the event in this report with Salim al-Qadri.
Among Tice Center activities was this lecture presented by Dr. Terrisam, where she introduced to Kuwait this famous publication titled Fatwa on Terrorism, written by Sheikh al-Islam Dr. Muhammad Tahir al-Qadri, that points out how Islam forbids violence against others.
Tonight's lecture was about terrorism in Islam, and the question was, is there a place for terrorism in Islam? And so we looked at one of the most distinguished fatwas that numbers more than 400 pages in English, and every single aspect of terrorism in the community, whether it's allowed or not. And of course the conclusion we came to was definitely it's not allowed, violence is not allowed, and both the Muslims and non-Muslims have great rights in Islam to life, security, belief, property, honor, and dignity. So there is absolutely no place for terrorism in Islam, as we showed tonight.
Today's lecture is very important when a wide number of expatriates here in Kuwait. This lecture was particularly designed for those people to tell them about the tradition of Kuwait as well as the teachings and injunctions of Islam based on Quran and Sunnah, gotten by the book of Dr. Tahir al-Qadri, the eminent jurist of the world on Islamic sciences, classical sciences, Professor Dr. Muhammad Tahir al-Qadri, keeping in view whether terrorism has any place in Islam or not. So it was delivered a lecture by the manager of the Tice Center here in Kuwait, Professor Dr. Terrisam, while uttering that there is no place for any sort of violence in Islam. Whosoever indulge himself or herself towards the activities of fanaticism or extremism or suicide bombings are no more Muslim. And according to the verdict of the classical authorities as well as the references of Quran and Sunnah as envisaged in this book, Fatwa, more than 400 pages, approximately 1200 legal citations, uttering that whosoever do involve in those activities are no more Muslim would be killed, to spread peace and protect the peace and security and integrity and dignity of the humanity and humanism. That is the message of the day, and that is the message of that particular book, Fatwa, by Dr. Tahir al-Qadri.
The publication, with its over 400 pages, shows that there is no place for terrorism in Islam and clears various myths about Islamic principles and beliefs. As we saw in this lecture tonight, it was about Islam and terrorism, and it was to clear the misconceptions about what people think or how they see Islam, and that it has nothing to do with terrorism. And there was this book that is now very popular, and I wish you can get a chance to take a look at it, and it is also online. From the Tice Center, this is Salim al-Qadri reporting for the English News.